The San Jose Sharks kick off their last road trip of the season by heading to Minnesota to face the Wild. Here's what you need to know.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network, we cover your team every day. And we continue with our 8 to 10 minute YouTube exclusive previews of today's game as the Sharks head to Minnesota to face the Wild. A team feel like they're gonna be in the playoffs here, but still kind of trying to figure out their playoff positioning and holding off the Calgary Flames. So for the Wild, every point is urgent for them to try to capture. So Wild lately have not been playing such great hockey. They are 4-4-2 in their last 10. Did have an big overtime win against the Dallas Stars the other night, but before that had lost 4 straight games against the Devils. You had a Rangers loss and an Islanders loss. Some of those going into overtime in a shootout, so very close. But not the type of performance that would inspire a lot of confidence if you're a Wild fan. The Sharks right now, of course, are in the midst of a 6-game losing streak, having blown another third period lead, this time to the Calgary Flames on Monday night. So let's get to see how this matchup looks. Sharks 20, 47, and 10. The Wild 42, 29, and 7. Sharks 2.55 goals for per game, 31st in the NHL. 3.74 goals allowed, 32nd. 18.9% on the power play, 22nd, and 74.4% on the PK, 27th. The Wild, similar in a lot of numbers here. 2.68 goals for per game, 28th. 2.83 goals allowed, 13th. Power plays at 20.4%. And then the PK at 72.7%, 31st. Toffoli leads the Sharks with goals. That's the wrong number. It's at 28. Sorry, my bad on typo there. Eklund in assists with 38, celebrating 57 points. Boldy leads the Wild in everything. 26 goals, 41 assists, and 67 points. Looking at how these two teams match up, the Wild, one of the few teams that scores less 5-on-5 goals than your San Jose Sharks. They don't generate a lot of offense, and they don't score a ton of goals, especially at 5-on-5. Power play goals, they don't get as many opportunities, but they do take advantage of their opportunities a little bit better. Defensively, the Wild are a team that is willing to give up shot attempts, but they don't give up a lot of 5-on-5 goals, and the goaltending is a big reason why. The Gus Bus and Marc-Andre Fleury both have been dynamic for them in net. We are getting Marc-Andre Fleury. It's already been confirmed he is the starter for this game. So this feels low event scoring. Wild 13th NHL in point percentage, 5th in their division in the Central there. Again, they're kind of fighting for the Blues for that first or second wild card spot. Do you want to play the Jets or do you want to play Vegas in the playoffs? That's basically what you're fighting for right there. Again, like this team struggles to score, especially with Kaprizov being out for so long. And yeah, well, it's their defense and their goaltending was kept them in it. Foligno, Rossi, Boldy up top, Johansson, Gaudreau, Zuccarello, Nyquist, old friend, Nyquist, still kicking it, man. Hartman and Hinostroza on the third, Trennan, Short, and Brazeau on the fourth line. Broden, Faber is absolutely amazing. Chisholm, Spurgeon, Merrill, and Bogzani, Gustavsson, and Fleury in net. And of course, Fleury is expected to start to this game. So what to watch for in this game? There is, and you'll probably know by the time you're listening to this, Kirill Kaprizov could be making his return. He has been ramping up activities. We still don't know. So could be we getting Kirill Kaprizov. If he is in this game, that is the number one thing to watch for is his return. Because he is a legitimate superstar, and he changes this Minnesota team. They have a lot of solid pieces, but Kaprizov, he is the straw that makes the drink stirs the drink, or whatever the saying is. So if he's in this game, like how does he look, and how do the Sharks try to slow him down? Because we know he has been a Shark killer in his past. He seems to always score big goals against the Sharks when the Wild need him the most. He's been before he got hurt, he was well on his way to being an MVP or having an MVP caliber season. So if he doesn't play, so again, if he plays, how do the Sharks slow him down? Because he's ridiculous. If he's not in the lineup, which team can scratch and crawl and get some sort of offense going? Because both teams are willing to get up shot attempts, right? Both definitely in the bottom portion of the league when it comes to actual shot attempts. One generating them and one giving them up. So it's very much resistible object versus unmovable force, whatever it is. Which team can kind of get going in this game? We already know the Sharks have already sent down Colin Graf to the AHL as the Barracuda look to try to solidify their playoff spot. I know some people didn't understand it, but for the Barracuda, right, you can't play playoff games if you don't make the playoffs. And having Colin Graf, we already know he's an NHL player. He's basically written his he's going to be an NHL player, opening night NHL player next year for the Sharks. But Barracuda need him more right now. So Sharks are an already shorthanded Sharks team when it comes to offense, losing another big piece with Colin Graf gone. Can the Sharks get to 2 or 3 goals in this game? Because I think 3 goals wins you this game. That way both these teams are playing. So both the special teams pretty equal. We did see the Sharks power play get one. Granted, it was a 6-on-4 situation at the end of the game. But the power play has been a little meh lately. I think that's fair to say. The keys for the Sharks in this game is you have to take advantage of any power play opportunities you have, right? You have to, if it's 1 for 2, or you have to get at least 1 in this game to have an opportunity. And 2, kind of like the Flames game, is I would just get as many shots on net as you possibly can, because that it's going to have to be an ugly goal. I think you're going to have to grind out a type of game. So that is going to be one of those type of games. I think for the Wild, they're going to win this game because, one, they need the points, right? Everybody in who the Sharks are playing right now are teams fighting for a playoff spot or trying to secure their playoff positioning. And they're looking at the Sharks as 2 easy points that they have to have. So don't be surprised, especially if Kaprizov's back, if the Wild try to kind of set the tone early and then get behind Fleury in that defense and try to shut things down, because they're very good at doing that, especially if they can get up by 2 goals. It feels like it might be over for a offensively challenged team like the San Jose Sharks. So I do think this is a low scoring affair. We'll go 2-1. I think it's just a grinded out type of game. Give me a Will Smith goal. The dude's on fire right now. 25 points in his last 29 games. Make it 26 points in 30 games for me, because Will Smith has been absolutely on fire. So I think that happens. But I think the Sharks losing streak hits 7, and then they get down. Their tragic number becomes 4 points if they lose this game. So we'll have a full breakdown of this game, and we'll talk about the Barracuda game on your next episode of Locked On Sharks, wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well.